What happened to all the biker pubs in the UK, I hear you ask? Well, nobody's asking that, I doubt. But listen, I get interesting emails every now and again, and I get questions from left, right, from all directions. And I suppose this is maybe a reaction to some of the videos that I made over the summer months about motorcycle lifestyle, biker questions, that kind of thing. And one of the questions that I kind of asked myself as well, what happened to all the biker pubs in the UK? What happened to rockers and biker hangouts? Now, I've got to make the distinction here between a biker pub, which is a permanent biker, rocker, pub, heavy metal music pub, right? And a pub that has a bike night, or a cafe that has a bike night, or whatever. Okay, that's, for me, that's fine. It's great, but it's not a biker pub, which is permanently a pub. It's not a motorcycle. Now, I know there are still some. So in the comments below, let us know if you know of any. Let us know where you're from. Shout out yourself where you're from, and also the biker pub that is permanently a biker pub where you are, especially here in the UK, but anywhere from around the world, that you can go there and say, oh yeah, this is, lots of bikers regularly go there, and there's biker music, but not everybody likes heavy metal, right? But let's just say it is rock music, that kind of stuff, right? Because when I was growing up, and possibly in the area which I lived, there was biker pubs, quite a lot of them. There were heavy metal pubs where that would attract bikers, rock music enthusiasts, all sorts of things. So they were there, they were around. Now, also, these were live music event places. I worked in one when I was a kid as well. I wouldn't necessarily say it was a biker pub, but bikers went there. It was, live music all the time. It was a really cool place. So there was lots of places where, bikers and heavy metal enthusiasts used to go to. So I was speaking to somebody a few years ago, actually. They opened up this heavy metal bar, and it was in a relatively small town. But for a few months, for a couple of years, it was really, really popular. Right, really popular, had live acts on, and I thought, wow, is this a return to the kind of pubs that I used to go to years ago when I was a kid, much younger, right? Talking 30 odd years ago, right? Or maybe even more. And then it closed down, and I was like, well, why is that closed down? And apparently they weren't making enough money. They couldn't get enough people through the doors. So because having a bike night or a heavy metal night might work, you got to think, well, what's going to happen for the other 6 days or 6 nights of the week? So are the same kind of people going to go there every single night? And that's the problem. It's getting the same kind of people going to the same kind of place, and with a regularity and spending money and food and drink, or just drinks, or whatever it is. Then if you're going to have live entertainment, then how much is that going to cost? How much are you going to pay on the door, and all that sort of stuff. Now, this was all before COVID, right? So that kind of financial bite, economic bite, hadn't really hit yet. So then you look at all around, and I look at all the places. Sometimes I ride around, sometimes I go to different areas of the country, and I go, oh, okay, I've been to this place before. I wonder if it's still open. You ride past it, it's gone, right? Not even there. It's not even a pub anymore. It's turned into some, nail salon or something like that, or some dental spa. I rode past the place the other day. It's not a dental hygienist. It's not even just a dentist. It's called a dental spa. I mean, a dental spa. I mean, for Christ's sake, But there we go. Let us know. I mean, what happened to all the biker pubs? I mean, I think it's obviously a change in trend, changing fashions, possibly, that as generations pass, people weren't into rock music per se. And maybe I just came from that generation, all that kind of, that I was really interested in, that I was going to, live music pubs every night, every other night, rock music, going to rock festivals all the time, always out on my bike, always going places. You know, there are biker pubs all over the place, all seemingly biker pubs where bikers used to go to on a regular basis. And I can't remember it being called a bike night. Now, if I'm wrong, please tell me, but I can't remember back in the, let's say, late 80s, mid-late 80s, and into the early 90s as well. Yeah, so let's just say from mid-80s to mid-90s, right? Where I suppose I was doing most of this. I can't remember where pubs were saying, or cafes were saying, oh, it's bike night tonight, all bikers come in. I can't remember it. Now, that could be that it happened, but I just can't remember it. So what happened to these biker pubs? They've all closed down. Now, I know pubs, maybe even bikers, they buy pubs and they want to have a biker pub, right? But to make it work financially in this country, I think it's very, very difficult. And it's already been proven that it's very difficult. You just can't get the numbers of people through the door. So you have to diversify. So many of the pubs in this country have closed down or are closing down. They're finding it really difficult to make a profit. The problem is, to make any kind of profit, they're having to keep on putting their prices up. And the prices have just become so expensive that people just don't want to go there anymore. I believe across the board, not singling out any individual pubs or organisations, but I believe there's a lot of profiteering going on. I don't think you had to put up the prices that much, but also you got issues with minimum wage in this country, and that's gone up. Mandatory national insurance for different things, and there was when the last budget here that the government put out, they were hopping mad, publicans here and landlords and bar owners who say, well, the cost to employ somebody to work behind the bar, work in the pub, it's just prohibitive. It's almost, you just can't do it. So that's why a lot of the pubs are closing down. So then when I'm asking where all the biker pubs gone, well, they're facing the same issues. So they've had to diversify anyway. So even if you're a biker and you want to own a pub and get a biker pub, and also, the attitude towards drink driving has completely changed here in the last 30, 40 years as well. So, if you're going to ride a motorcycle or drive a car, right, most people with a sensible head on, right, will not drink. They might have one, but that's it, because they got to get on their bike and go. So they're just going to be on soft drinks. So that's another reason why soft drinks have gone through the roof. You go to a pub and you ask for a Coke and it costs you £3 or £4, or something ridiculous like that. Sometimes even more expensive than that. So people aren't drinking. They might buy food, but they're not drinking. And so to do that on a consistent basis, you kind of think, well, no wonder no biker pubs exist anymore. They're always open to bikers. They're always open to, heavy metal music. I know they exist. And I'm sure, please let us know in the comments where they are and all that kind of stuff. Because I probably want to go there myself and probably, and have a little sit down and see what's what, But in terms of the numbers, as I remember them 30, 40 years ago, maybe I'm wrong, but I can't. I seem to recall there was a lot more action going on within a 20-mile radius of where I grew up. And I go to other cities and other towns and cities, and there was action there. And I wonder, well, I don't think that's even a thing anymore. I think maybe it's gone more to private parties and more to private gatherings, and rallies. Rallies are always a thing, of course, that kind of thing. The bike night seemed to take over, really, I think. Am I wrong? I just can't remember bike nights being such a thing. Whereas now, it's just a way for a pub, any pub, just to get lots of people in on a Tuesday or Wednesday night, Thursday night, whatever it is, and just sell lots of drink, lots of food. Great. Yeah, I'll welcome it. And this summer I went to quite a few places just riding around. I was just doing a search of different bike nights in different areas, different counties, and riding for a couple of hours in an evening, going there, having a bite to eat, drink, and then just having a ride back and picking a great route there and route back. It's great. It was lovely. But none of them were anything like what I used to remember, and live music pubs, they're still there. Of course they're still there. But, music venues in general, that's another thing that's really diminished over the years. Again, because it comes down to profitability, and they can't compete with the big ticket sellers who are selling selling tickets for other big events. So, they're really struggling. I was watching reading a report on music venues in this country, pubs, live venues. They just can't compete. They're having to close their doors. They're really struggling to put on venues for bands. So that kind of diminishes the rich culture of music in this country as well, doesn't it? Of whatever music style. It's a shame. I think it's just a shame. I think it's, and if there were biker pubs in this area, even at my older age, right now, I would definitely still go. I would definitely go on a night, and whether I rode there or not, and if I didn't ride there because I wanted a drink, I'd still go there. Yeah, why not? Especially if they're, got bands on. Yeah, and there's a good atmosphere. Yeah, why not? I'd love it. It's just a shame that they're not there anymore. To my opinion, they're not there. But, I could be wrong. I'm just not seeing them. Maybe I'm just blind to it and I'm just not seeing them. But let us know where you are. If you got a biker pub, that is a biker pub or heavy metal pub, that bikers attend, that is still there. And it's still functioning as a pub. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you like what I do here, keep on watching the videos, and I'll catch you again. Bye now.